What is the best diet for eczema? What foods should you be eating to heal eczema naturally? Hi everyone, it's Dr. Sarah and I'm back with a highly requested video. What foods can I eat to help heal my eczema? If you're new here, I'm a holistic doctor who focuses on treating the root cause of dermatological diseases or skin conditions with natural treatments. So quick story, I used to have chronic eczema that was really itchy and uncomfortable, red and irritated and flaky, and a huge part in healing my eczema naturally was changing my diet and focusing on the foods that I was eating. What you eat is extremely important for your skin health and your overall health. There's so much medicinal power in food, and food is either fighting disease or feeding disease. Now, I wanted to touch real quick on a few key points with what's going on with eczema in your skin and beneath the layers of the skin. So number one is with eczema, you have this disrupted skin barrier that is contributing to your symptoms of like itchiness and dryness, redness and irritation. Something is causing that to be hypersensitive, and a lot of times one of the root causes of this is an imbalance with your gut microbiome and just your overall digestion, and a huge part of your digestion is impacted by the foods that you eat. So a lot of the foods that I'm going to talk about today are going to target that inflammation that's happening in your gut, which will in turn help heal the inflammation at the level of the skin. I also want to say a quick disclaimer. I know there's a lot of conflicting information out there on food, diet, nutrition, and how that relates to your health and your skin health. Also, a lot of seemingly healthy food is demonized, which kind of bothers me, and a lot of the experts always seem to be disagreeing on just food and nutrition. So the whole topic of food and knowing what to eat can be really frustrating when you're trying to heal your symptoms naturally with your diet. So I totally get that. And I think a lot of it really comes down to trial and error and what is going to work for you. So for example, one person with eczema can have a really strong food sensitivity or allergy or just intolerance to a certain food, and then another person with eczema can eat that food and have no problems whatsoever, and there could be something else that's triggering that inflammation. So it is going to depend a little bit on the person, and I don't think there's any one diet that's going to fit for every single person out there, and I don't think there's any one diet that's going to fit for every single person with eczema either. So with that being said, primarily these are the foods that I have found that have helped heal my eczema and my symptoms and have made me feel just good and healthy overall, and hopefully you'll find some helpful information for yourself. Alright, so the first food I'm going to talk about is omega-3 rich foods. Omega-3 rich foods, these are going to be mainly found in fish, like your fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Another great source of omega-3 fatty acids are going to be nuts and seeds, such as chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and then also avocados are a really great source of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are really amazing because they are, for one, anti-inflammatory, so they're really going to target the root cause of that inflammation that's in your just internally in your body and externally on your skin. And then on top of that, they are a great healthy fat that's going to help moisturize your skin from the inside out. So they help regulate oil production in the skin, and they can also help promote collagen production. Now, one note on salmon, I would recommend trying to consume wild-caught salmon over farm-raised salmon when you can. And this is because wild-caught salmon is going to have a lot more nutrients, a lot more nutrient dense, and then it's going to be free of added pollutants, artificial dyes, and antibiotics, which farm-raised fish has been known to have high amounts of, so it's just going to be overall better. So the quality of these foods really does matter. Another great source of omega-3s are avocados. Avocados are also high in different vitamins and nutrients like vitamin E, vitamin C, potassium, magnesium. And so I incorporate avocados into my daily diet, and I found that they work really well for me. Now, some people will say that avocados actually are not the best for people with eczema, and that's because they contain salicylates, and salicylates kind of have been shown to increase like itchiness and that sort of kind of inflammatory itch response with eczema. But honestly, the amount that they have is not that high, in my opinion, and it's a lot of fruits in general can have higher salicylates, and especially dried fruits, for one, have a lot higher salicylates than avocados. And so the thing that annoys me here is kind of like I was talking about in the beginning of the demonizing of healthy foods, is people focus on one compound of that food, and if you isolated it and ingested that compound like salicylates by itself, it's going to have some kind of negative health effects or side effects. The difference is when you have it in a whole food like an avocado or like a bowl of berries, that is also combined with a lot of essential nutrients and vitamins, a lot of which are going to be really healthy for your skin too. And so you can't really just say, oh, this food has this certain compound, so that therefore it's bad for you and you shouldn't eat it. But you're not looking at the whole picture of that fruit or vegetable, and so that there's a difference where all those other amazing nutrients are going to have a beneficial effect on your health. And the research doesn't really show a clear answer here, in my opinion. Yeah, I would say before completely avoiding something like avocados, there are so many other things that are much more worse for your health and your skin health, such as sugar and alcohol. Those are very inflammatory. And so I think those are much more important to avoid than, say, having a little bit of avocado every day or sometime during the week. So before completely eliminating avocados from your diet, I would eliminate sugar and alcohol at least for 30 days. And then you can introduce some avocado, see how you react. Now, some people could have a food sensitivity to avocado, and you could notice if that's making your skin worse, but I would still recommend avoiding sugar and alcohol because those are very inflammatory, so it's going to kind of make your allergic response to certain foods heightened because they're already causing so much inflammation in the body. And then another thing that I would recommend avoiding if you're really worried about salicylates is aspirin. So aspirin is acetylsalicylic acid, which is extremely high in salicylates. And so that I would 100% recommend avoiding, especially if you're worried about that compound. So yeah, that's my little rant on avocados, and I think, yeah, they're just some foods that really get a bad rep, like spinach having high in oxalates. And I think it's when you focus on that one compound isolated, it's different when that compound is in combination with the whole food that has all these other amazing nutrients and benefits. So I personally do really well eating avocado, and I also wanted to share some meal ideas throughout this video. One of the things I like to do is I like baking my salmon in the oven with a side of green beans, and then I'll have cauliflower rice and my avocados on there. And then for lunch sometimes I'll use canned salmon and make a salad, or I'll have it on lettuce wraps with avocado, and that's really yummy and delicious. Food number 2 is fermented foods. So I've incorporated fermented foods in my diet for a while now, and I really noticed a big improvement in my skin when I'm eating more, especially fermented vegetables. So fermented foods are high in probiotics, which are going to support a healthy gut microbiome. And probiotics also help heal your gut lining. They're going to help digest your food, and they're going to reduce that internal inflammation. So overall, just really healthy. And a lot of people are really deficient in probiotics. One, from taking antibiotics, if you ever had a course of antibiotics in your life, and then other certain medications, just all the antibacterial things around us. So definitely important to have a healthy dose of fermented foods in your diet. So some of my favorites are sauerkraut and kimchi, fermented vegetables. And then you can also do like kefirs and yogurt. I prefer to usually stick with dairy-free. It just kind of, I don't know, I like the taste better and kind of sits better with me. The one thing I will say is important is to find kefirs and yogurts that are low in sugar. A lot of just your conventional yogurts out there honestly hardly have any probiotics and have a ton of sugar. So that is not what I'm talking about. That is not a health food. You want to have organic yogurt, grass-fed whole milk yogurt, or Greek yogurt that's going to have no added fillers or carrageenan or gums that make it thicker. You want it to have that natural thickness, that it's going to have the natural probiotics. And then I would also recommend just you going for a plain flavor or one that's lower in sugar. And then you can always add in your own refined sugar-free sweeteners like honey or maple syrup or a little bit of jam. And then also kombucha is another source of probiotics. It's a fermented tea. And just same thing, make sure that it doesn't have a ton of added sugar in there. Some of my favorite brands are going to be GT Synergy Kombucha, and they don't add any secondary sugar to their kombuchas. It's all just fruit sweetened. And then I also like June kombuchas. So June kombuchas are fermented with honey instead of sugar, and they just usually have less sugar and taste really nice. All right, food number 3 is low sugar fruits, specifically berries like blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Berries are really high in antioxidants and skin healing nutrients. Berries are lower sugar than some fruits, and the thing with this is because if you do have some sort of gut dysbiosis or just not a really healthy gut, then having too much high sugar fruits can kind of feed the bad bacteria. It can potentially contribute to candida overgrowth or SIBO or just like different bacterial overgrowths, because sugar is what feeds bacteria. So I would try to limit those high sugar fruits like bananas, mango, pineapple. I think they still have really amazing benefits, but just like in moderation if you're trying to really heal eczema. And then some other low sugar fruits that I recommend are like pears and apples. One, they're lower in sugar, and then 2, they have quercetin, which is a flavonoid, and it's anti-inflammatory, and it kind of helps with your body's histamine reaction. So it kind of, it just helps get that back into balance and can help heal eczema. And then a meal idea that kind of incorporates these is I like to do a chia pudding. So I'll do a chia pudding with like chia seeds, and I usually prefer non-dairy milk. It's just my preference. So I'll do like a coconut milk and almond milk, and then I add like a scoop of yogurt on there and then cut up some fresh berries. And so here I'm getting some healthy omega-3 fatty acids, I'm getting some probiotics from the yogurt, and then I'm getting some nice antioxidants and vitamins from the low sugar fruits. If you're enjoying this video so far and find some value in it, then please give it a like, as it really supports my channel and lets me know to create more videos like this. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upcoming video. All right, food number 4 is vegetables. So yeah, a big part of my diet is also consuming just whole food vegetables. Vegetables are high in flavonoids, which are anti-inflammatory, and just a lot of nutrients as well. So some of my favorites are green beans and broccoli, celery, and then some other highlights are beets. So beets can help the liver eliminate toxins, and they can also help support collagen production. And then another great vegetable is cabbage. So cabbage is high in glutamine, and glutamine is an amino acid that helps heal your gut lining. So a natural source of glutamine is found in cabbage. And then I also like to have some dark leafy greens like chard, kale, spinach. These are just really high in nutrients, and I do prefer having them lightly cooked rather than raw, because sometimes raw, if you have some sort of gut dysbiosis or stomach problems, they can be harder to break down and digest. So I prefer to just have mine in a soup or lightly stir-fried or steamed, and then I'll kind of incorporate it into my diet like that. Food number 5 that has made a big difference in healing my eczema is focusing on high quality sources of protein. So overall, the last couple of years of healing my eczema, I've kind of switched from doing less grains and doing more high quality sources of protein. So for me, this is going to be organic and grass-fed meats like beef and chicken, as well as pasture-raised eggs. And I would say for these, the quality does matter. They're going to have more nutrients and like a better ratio of omega-3s to omega-6 fatty acids. So some meal ideas here. I like to do a chicken arugula salad. So I'll just pan sear my organic chicken breast on the cast iron stove top, and then I'll transfer that into the oven to finish cooking. And then with my salads, I do like to have like a smaller portion of the greens, especially when they're all raw. I like to focus more on having that good source of protein, and then I add in my avocado for healthy fats. And I find that it's just easier to digest, and it just makes me feel better. Yeah, and then sometimes I'll also add in my sauerkraut for those probiotics, and then I like to top it with different nuts and seeds to get some nutrients there. And then another meal idea that I do is like a beef and broccoli stir fry. So either ground beef or like steak tips, and I'll just do a stir fry with that. Sometimes I'll have it with a side of cauliflower rice. I stay away from just regular rice because it just really bothers my stomach and makes me really bloated. But if you can tolerate a little bit of organic rice, then you can add that in a small portion to your diet. But I found doing less grains and more of these like high quality proteins and good sources of healthy fats kind of have helped my digestion and helped my skin. All right, and then another one that I like to incorporate that I found has made a big difference in healing my gut and healing my skin is bone broth. So I make my own bone broth recipe, and I'll just sip on that, or I'll add it to like different soups and stews. Sometimes I'll buy organic bone broth from the grocery store when I need to, and that has been really healing, especially when you combine it with like intermittent fasting or like a 24-hour fast, and then the first thing you eat is bone broth. That I find to be really healing and helped heal my skin over the years. Bone broth contains glycine, glutamine, and collagen, all of which are really helpful in healing the gut lining and healing your skin as well. And bone broth is also a good source of protein. So those are my top 5 foods, and overall what I've focused on to heal my skin, like specifically what I've eaten, is fruit, vegetables, high quality fish, meat, eggs, and then nuts and seeds, and then limiting grains. And I'm not 100% grain free. I am gluten free though, so I will do like some gluten free bread from time to time, toast, or like on the side with my eggs for breakfast in the morning. All right, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the worst foods for eczema and what foods you want to be avoiding to help heal your skin. And you can watch that video by clicking here on the screen, and I also will have some more videos you might be interested in linked in the description box down below. Thanks for watching!